Hello and welcome to the First Issue Club podcast. We're your weekly comic book reading club, and we're here to get you through the muddy and murky landscape that is comic books. I need some wrestling walk down music.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Every time I do this.
I felt like Razor Ramon was here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mike D has left the building. Who is this character we're talking to?
We're going to introduce you to First Issues. Whether you're a newcomer, a long-timer, a baby inside of your mommy's tummy, we're bringing the comic information to you.
We'll slide it up there for you.
Oh, God.
You always take it there. It's just, you take it to that point where everyone's just like, I need an adult whenever Budget King is around.
I pictured headphones gently draped upon a pregnant woman's tummy.
Okay, yeah.
Listening to our podcast.
No insertion needed.
I assumed that most people were thinking like, well, how do they get it? How do they get the sound? So.
You know what? We do have a lot of audiophiles who listen to this show, and we kind of love the details that you give when this kind of situation comes up.
God damn it. You guys hear that? This is Kaitlyn's voice back on the podcast.
Yes.
Hey!
I'm back.
Finally.
I've returned.
We've dropped the court order.
I was waiting for so long.
You were standing 500 feet away from the studio.
You know what? No regrets. And I don't promise to be any better.
The Gang of Four has returned.
Yep. Gang of Four, what we always call ourselves.
From
As you may recall.
From episode 1, we coined that term.
The old Gang of Four.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's who's in the club today. It's Budget King.
Mike D.
Greg.
And Kaitlyn.
How about that?
We're here. We're all here.
We're here, and we almost have a first issue for each of us. We're one short.
Oh, yeah.
But all in honor of Kaitlyn, these are all about stellar women leads surrounded in a market and atmosphere with men. You're a woman surrounded by dude podcasters, and we're honoring you by covering Shadecraft, Witchblood, and Silk.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel honored?
Yes, of course. These lovely ladies. Lovely leading ladies.
Yeah.
Good.
Lots of female creators, lots of female leads. It's all female all the time. And we're in a Women's History Month still.
Femme de la creme.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good.
We're recording in Women's History Month. We will be
Out of it.
into what's April? Birthing month? Month of the
April is April Fool's Month. Every day you have to do a trick on someone.
It's the Fool. Yes. Okay.
It's the Fool's Month.
Fool's History Month.
Yeah. You spend a lot of money on Dynamite covers
Oh, God. Oh, that horse.
during April.
Vampirella. I was
Am I going to pick cover A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H,
Do I
I,
want the
J,
black
K?
and white version of it? The virgin black and white version of it? I was on my pre-orders today for Final Order Cutoff, and they just don't learn. Their Dynamite has, no joke, 8 different covers for every book.
Yeah,
And
more.
And they're just stupid looking.
I hate scrolling past them every week.
Because it takes up like 5 pages on the website.
It does.
And it's ridiculous.
Well, are they making what they need to make off of it to keep doing it that
They
way?
haven't stopped this.
I don't
You've
know.
got to assume that it's
Yeah.
profitable for,
They must sell one of 50 to make all their money on those printings.
Maybe that's their thing is that in their basement they have their own little print shop.
They have their own personal printing press at Dynamite.
And so they're just like, interns, roll the presses.
They're like, we don't give a shit. We can make it right now.
I guess how many people go into their shop every week and just say, I'm tangentially familiar with Vampirella.
Mm-hmm.
This cover speaks to me.
In a sexual way.
I'll pick it up. That's probably right. But if you just make every other cover just a rotation of different shit, then you're more likely to find that person who's just like, okay, Erica Henderson did a cover. I like her.
Right, that's
I'll
true.
pick up Sonia Versal this week.
Right.
But Sonia Versal 4? I guess I need to find the other 3.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't think like we do as on a completionist level.
No.
They're just like, here's a cool looking comic, I'll take it.
What's that life like?
Yeah,
They must
I know.
have money. Because I spend all of mine on stupid comic books.
They're what we call, in quotes, casuals.
I think
Filthy,
it's actually
disgusting.
more money to be a completist because then you're like if you get one,
Yeah, exactly.
you have to get the rest. in order to.
So yeah, maybe I make
Although
more
I
money, but it goes to other places, and I don't get to keep it.
So the first book that we're going to cover today, Shadecraft?
Shadecraft.
Shadecraft,
I
sorry.
did the same thing to Kaitlyn.
He actually got a little huffy with me. He goes, "What are you calling it? What are you saying?" And I was like, Shadecraft. Look at it's. Because it was Shadowcraft all day.
Well,
It should be called Shadowcraft.
because there
Well,
is shadows in it.
You know, I'm not going to argue with you there.
Well, there's news in and of itself for that book. That this
It was printed with blood.
yes, it's printed in blood. It was optioned before it was released. Is that the timeline
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, you are correct. Yeah.
of things? So, but it wasn't one of those deals where it's like,
They knew it was going to get optioned.
yeah. So it was a little bit more hypey.
It wasn't made to be optioned.
Yeah, like Image had done the Netflix deal and stuff, and there's other deals that exist. This one was it is optioned by Netflix.
So, with being on this show and learning more about the industry, I found out that while you make a comic, you can also shop it around to like TV studios at the same time.
So you're pitching them the idea like a normal pitch meeting.
Yeah, and you actually have the ultimate pitch because you can bring in like the comic book
Storyboard.
proofs.
It
is-
and
it is a storyboard.
It's a fucking walking storyboard, and you know it sucks because this book is now pretty much worthless.
Well, so this one was also the follow-up to, I forget the series
Oh,
name.
Skyward.
Yeah, Skyward.
I know it's the same creative team as Skyward. I don't know if it's the same
It's not-
universe.
I guess, so it's not a follow-up to that story, but they made a big deal about how it was hard for them to even come out with this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it couldn't have been that hard if you were like trying to get it optioned
Right.
as you're making it.
No, so what Kaitlyn is referencing then, I think, is that they said that they wanted it to come right after Skyward.
Yes.
Like with their creative things. But the point you made is awesome. It's like, well, they're shopping it, so did they really give a shit?
Yeah.
I like Skyward a lot, though.
Yeah.
What I said there, by the way, sounded like mansplaining.
During
know.
Femme de la Creme,
Yeah,
you're mansplaining?
I was
don't know.
I was just trying to piece together our memories of the copy that we read together, though.
Yes.
So, in my defense,
You're explaining to the readers.
Well, I
Real
was kind of.
close one.
It was a lot. It was a lot of copy about how nervous they were to come out with this and how they hoped it stood alone and wasn't just like in the shadow of Skyward. But
Funny,
but yeah,
because it deals with shadows.
We're talking about it so much. Let's just get into the deets here.
Yeah.
This is a book by Henderson, Garbett, Fabella, and Bowland, like we mentioned, the same team from Skyward. Out on Image Comics, just like Skyward.
ooh. Premise of this book: shadows be fighting.
Shadows be real.
Oh, I love the way it started. There's a guy and a girl. They're in high school.
Mhm. There's a little will they, won't they, little Sam and Diane.
It's got Netflix all over it already. She kisses him. He's like, oh, no.
I just wanted my Switch back.
I need my Nintendo Switch back.
Well, to be fair,
That's the only reason I'm walking you home.
he's a total snack, so I would have gone for the smooch as well.
Yeah.
she's not so bad either.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying if I was her, I would be smooching on that snack.
Are you judging a teen by their looks, Kaitlyn?
I might
Same
be.
with Greg.
In response to.
Now, listen, I can
That's
say things are...
16-year-old.
Are you-
God damn.
Are you Matt Gates from Florida?
Oh, he's having a week.
Illustrated children are children too, you guys.
Even if they're played by 20-somethings on TV.
But our lead face plants basically because she gets rejected by this guy she kisses, who's like one of her best friends. She's like, I fucked it up. She's walking home the rest of the way by herself. Kind of gets attacked by her own shadow or shadow monsters.
Yes, and their mom turns on the porch light, and all the monsters go away because everyone knows a shadow's greatest enemy is direct light.
No. A shadow's greatest assistant is direct light,
It's a frenemy type of situation.
right? There are no shadows.
If you're in total darkness.
If you're in total darkness, light has to be there to cast a shadow. That bugged me about the whole premise of fighting shadows with light.
So
This is like Swiss cheese now. There's holes all over the place.
we know that there is a shadow that aids her. The thing attacking her might just be darkness.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because
Okay.
they start off the comic book saying like, "Are you afraid of the dark?" And he's like, "Actually, I am." And so they set the tone for like darkness in general.
Yeah. Which is maybe why the book is called
Shade.
Shade rather than Shadow.
Ah, yes. And there
It all comes together and all of our problems are solved.
title surgeon.
Beep, 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 beep.
We haven't done a title surgeon.
Yeah, but not that I haven't done a title surgeon in a while, in a minute. There was a lot of like dark shadow fighting. Not a lot of dialogue in this comic book,
It was a quick read.
which made it quick, but also like I could feel the horror premise of it. Here's the thing with a book like this. I'm always thinking like, how is this going to translate into a show?
Very
Right.
Even if
easily.
you don't know it's optioned.
No. When I know it's option,
Okay.
and I start it, so it makes it a jaded read
Uh-huh.
because I'm just thinking like, well, are they going to keep it like this? How are they going to like animate this? Or like, there's her brother
Yep.
is in a coma in a
Right.
room, and I'm like, well, how long are they going to keep that going on and like do that type of thing? You know, it just is it. I don't know.
I mean, like, do they show how we got in the coma in this show? Because there's
Right.
more of a preamble, because we don't hear an interior narration.
I hear.
Are we going to see the characters be, like, born so we know why they exist?
Oh, that's a
Do
good
we ever
point.
find out
Yeah.
if he gets his switch back? Do we do that
that's
whole thing?
That's the whole first arc.
Yeah.
Do they introduce the Wii U as the predecessor of the Switch and
Exactly,
explain the
exactly.
difference
Origins.
between the Wii and the
Yeah.
Wii U, which
Right.
is
Yeah.
very convoluted? I mean, I would find that educational.
That's probably for the not the prologue, but the what's the? Oh my god, my brain just shut off. On to the next thing.
All right. Fair enough, Greg.
Your brain just vetoed that. No thanks.
It was like, oh, you had a thought. No, you didn't.
Appreciate the assist and you knowing when to quit. I'll just,
You know, after 35 years, you'll learn a thing or
I'll
two.
just keep the show rolling.
Finding that word does not matter.
Because it would have. No, forget it. That was a trick. That was a trick.
Best scene in the comic, I think.
All right, we'll have competing best scenes.
Oh yeah,
Let's
best
go.
scene.
Okay. She gets swallowed up by darkness, and then a hand emerges and grabs her cell phone and flicks on the light. And she's like half eaten by darkness and able to kind of shine the light around to get out of the darkness.
That
Yes.
was a great scene. I think you're kind of wondering, it just seems like that flash at the end is like, she's dead.
Yes.
And then you turn the page and it's like a reveal what the flash is.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant storyboarding and storytelling.
Would you say best scene?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I like when she's at high school and basically gets turned into a meme. She like
oh yeah.
shoves her friends away from a shadow coming after her and is just like, I'll protect you. And I just thought a high schooler being like, I'll protect you and shoving their friend.
Well, that's kind of like her whole thing, which is kind of interesting to me though. She's very confident for somebody who's not very good at
Yeah.
a lot of different things or pretty awkward in general. She's like kissing her friend, but also like didn't read the room enough to know that wasn't cool. Then she's like very bold and I'll protect you, saving her friend, not knowing that's going to turn into a very embarrassing situation for her.
She defends like the whole idea that she's not crazy in
Oh,
the
yeah.
middle of school, like
Yes.
immediately.
Yes.
Which-
Tells her brother she hates him.
Yep.
While
And is
he's in a
also pretty
coma.
ballsy to her mom. Granted, that's like probably a long-standing family thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just an interesting dichotomy of things going on with her.
My nomination for best scene is when she's in the room talking to her brother in a coma and spelling out pretty plainly to everyone who's reading what's happened and why he's in the coma.
Yeah.
Almost like it's like a slam dunk for a first grader to find out what's going on.
Okay, I actually love this because we gave this props when we read TMNT Ronin. Like, there was a character monologuing, kind of like explaining the background, and you were like, this is a corny monologue. Like, no one just like speaks out loud.
Right.
And then you found out that they're speaking to like a person in a tube, that they're like trying to bring back to life Mr. Freeze like style, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I was just like, okay, it makes so much more sense to like monologue like the situation
yeah.
To a
to-
thing.
Exposition.
to a person, even if that person's unconscious.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a decent storytelling device when you
Instead
need
of like
to get that
you,
out
the
there.
reader.
Right, yeah. Hey, guys.
What am I doing here? Well, my brother's in a coma. How to get there? Let me tell you.
Because
I'm Malcolm in the middle.
because it keeps the internal dialogue like rich, grounded, whatever, without having to be like, okay, I'm having just tons of exposition explained to me.
Yeah.
The character's talking directly to
Although-
me.
I want a comic, not like a novel to read before I start a comic.
Yes. Although one hopes she doesn't just like update her brother, on the entire situation like every day. Okay, now as you'll remember.
Where did we leave off?
Yeah.
All right, Shadecraft spoiler time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the end.
The shadow that defends her is her brother's shadow.
Is her bro.
Or it just maybe is her bro.
I kind of wondered if the bro was eaten by the shadows first.
Ah.
That's why he's in the coma.
The spirit's been stolen.
Yeah.
So it's the best scenario, though, because she gets to romp around with her bro who is in a coma,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's what everybody wants. You want your dead dog to come back as a shadow so you can
But
hang
then-
out with her.
Oh, Shadow's
Did
already a
he-
great dog name.
Did he like take her shadow's place? I
Yeah.
don't. So there's a
Oh.
little.
I think we'll
there's a
find
few
out as the story
questions.
goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in this world, is your shadow your soul?
Oh.
Yeah,
Or
let's
also-
marinate on that,
Also,
everybody.
also that world and this world.
Well, but then he would be. He is.
Wow.
Her, he can't be her soul. Her brother can't be her soul.
But maybe he's just like renting out.
He was
the
like, "Hey,
space where her
hey,
shadow
my
was.
sister's shadow, kick rocks. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
okay.
her soul
I want
for
you
a
Peter
little
Pan for a little bit and get the hell out of here.
There was a very big Peter Pan vibe here
Was there?
in the shadow.
bit." We'll see if
Basically
she.
the-
We'll see if she
That's
uses
the only thing was the
silver or
shadow.
sews him-
She didn't have
sews
like a hook, or there wasn't an alligator chasing her around going tick tock, tick tock. Like the only Peter Pan reference was maybe a shadow.
Correct.
Well, didn't you just
The
say
mom,
Peter
the mom
Pan out
busts
of
in
here?
the room. I don't want to grow up.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
What?
The famous song from Peter Pan.
Nana.
The dog, yeah, the dog sang it.
Oh.
Any other comic book news?
Yeah. Okay, so this is old and stale, but we could just hash it out and talk about it like
Yeah.
we do. Marvel is no longer going to be using Diamond directly for their distribution.
Correct.
Yeah, we found this out a while back. You guys haven't heard our take on it. Therefore, still current news.
Sit back, pop open that cognac. It's time to get into it.
We got pinions.
Well, I love it because Diamond, like a lot of old dinosaur comic book industries, was just kicking back, relaxing, thinking that, hey, we're the juggernaut that can't be fucked with. And Marvel thought to themselves, no, we're bigger than you, actually. We'll figure this out.
Well, let's not forget, DC did this first.
Oh, yeah.
DC said during COVID, you know what? Let's break ties with Diamond, and everyone thought DC was crazy. Everyone thought DC was going to
Gab
be done.
King.
The gossip around the shops was
What?
that DC was done.
What was Image saying?
Oh, you know
Guffaw.
Image.
That old bitch?
But shortly after DC left, they were very successful, and so other smaller publishers started doing the same thing. And then the last nail in the coffin was Marvel saying, you know what, we're done. Because Diamond, you're right, was this juggernaut that had all of the bargaining chips. And so they could make all the rules, they could do everything with the distribution and what, how things get put out in stores. And now they have nothing. They have no weight in the game anymore, and it's wild.
Kind of like you guys were talking about with Disney. That's why you don't want so many things to be wrapped up in one, because then you feel like they're too big to fail, and they can just do whatever they want without thinking of the actual product.
Yeah, monopoly rules apply.
Do not collect $200.
The odd
straight to
thing,
jail.
Diamond.
the odd thing was, did you read this letter that Diamond put out like 3 days ago?
Oh yeah. Well, how'd it go again? Tell me. How
We
did
totally
it
read
start?
that.
Of
but,
course I did.
But
Recount that
not
beat for
everybody
beat.
listening may
I
not
think
have.
it started like, "Dear comic book readers, how are you doing?"
Okay, yeah, you've
We're
got
fine.
so
I
far.
know
So
there's
far,
been a lot of hate on the timeline lately. We just want to squash some beef real quick.
And
Okay?
say, we're good without him.
First of all, we left Marvel.
We're going to do fine. We're great,
It was
actually.
mutual. It was mutual.
And if Marvel's so good on their own, then have them come get their stuff from my house because I don't have room for it anymore.
There are tons of better publishers who want to be with me.
Me and Dynamite are doing just fine now, okay? They fill me with variants.
So far, you're spot on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I told
Any
you. I
more?
read it. I'm
Any
just
more?
telling you what it is.
Yeah,
No.
you did. You.
It says XOXO, eat a turd.
There's a handful of words you missed. The main thing was that they announced that they're gonna. So Marvel's gonna be using Penguin Random House, right?
Yes.
Known for Penguin books and Penguin audio.
Just books about penguins.
Yes.
Mr. Popper.
So very
and such.
familiar with
Yeah.
Penguin.
Yeah, they put out March of the Penguins, Happy Feet, Surf's Up.
So basically,
You had those ready to go.
Diamond just wants you to know this is only a behind-the-scenes thing about how these Marvel products were obtained for distribution, but it does not impact our ability to supply you with Marvel comics. So you can still order through them if you wanted to.
Yeah, but no. But they've been diminished. Their power isn't. We're the main ones. We're like a distributor.
Yes.
So
So
they're
have
on the
to-
same level of comic book shops now.
They have to purchase Marvel Comics first and then
Yeah.
distribute
Yeah.
them to...
So they sent out this letter that was like, this is just a minor inconvenience for us.
This actually works better for us, so
Yes.
it's fine.
It's
It
just
actually-
I'm fine.
It reads more like trying to trick people into not understanding what's actually happened so that they continue to go through Diamond
There are stores
and don't go through Penguin.
that we've frequented that live and die by Diamond
Yeah.
that will read this and say, good, I can still get my Marvel through Diamond, don't care, gonna
Yep.
do it.
And so then,
And that's what they're trying to do here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we have gone to shops before where they've actually told us that Diamond has a strict policy and list of rules that your comic book shop needs to follow, or else you
Are not Diamond approved.
yeah, or you're put on some kind of ban list. And one of them was you have to have a TV on,
Yes, you do.
which seemed crazy to me.
Yeah, I wonder what the study is
It's
there.
this art. Yeah, there must be some type of retail thing that is, I know that music and retail it produces more sales or something like that. A TV on seems like something stuck from the 90s. Maybe
Yeah.
you should also have a Stone Temple Pilot record on as well.
That's just because it's a classic album.
Right, yeah. Tiny Music. It's a classic.
Especially
Spin
for
Mother's
what a
Milk
wild
again.
what a wild thing also for such a non-TV media. Nothing that I'm going to be seeing here could be made better except for a Reading Rainbow. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
How is that going to
Well,
promote
also-
the sales of what I'm in the store to buy?
Maybe and the TV keeps you in the store longer. If you're a comic book shop, just get your books and go. That's what they want. They just want your money and then for you to leave. You want to linger around and watch an episode of Bonanza with me when you buy your books. That's
Well, I
fine.
was thinking it would just be promo reels, but still, what could you do? What I don't know.
I think the idea is that it's keeps it from being some dusty man's closet. But it
Oh, so it's kid tested, mother approved.
Instead, you just have the dusty man watching TV.
right. It turns out the aesthetic of one shitty 17-inch TV in the corner playing reruns of Animaniacs is not that enticing.
I just love picturing this man in a cloak coming in, being like, "Wow, great store you have here. How you've been open for a while. I've noticed there's a sudden lack of screens. Oh, there's a dusty old tube over there. When was the last time you fired that up?
You're gonna be paying a nickel more for your comics.
My name's Pennyworth, and I'm the representative from Diamond.
Tisk, 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 sir."
I want all these castles of old comic book industries to crumble. So goodbye, Diamond. Goodbye, your bad logo. Goodbye, your bad distribution model. Goodbye, Diamond.
I'm surprised people have so many opinions and takes on it. I was just kind of all right, as long as I can get comics, who gives a fuck?
I think it is more chatter from comic book shop owners.
Yeah.
That's where it's coming from, and it is interesting.
Diamond doesn't have any rule where they can't purchase from other distributors for the same publishers, do they?
Oh, I do not know. I'm not that far in the weeds.
Yeah.
I've only read the base articles.
Well, because I'm wondering as
Oh,
far
like
as
any
impact
like
goes.
compete
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm wondering as far as the impact on shops go.
Nah, because DC's already doing direct to shops.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
There.
that's that situation already, and we're still getting Diamond books.
There's a pretty good comic book store down the road from us, down the road being I-70 2 hours away, that said that they don't carry DC anymore when this happened because it was too complicated to order off
Give me
of
a
Diamond.
break.
And it's like, well, okay. Well, I guess this
It's
doesn't.
only your livelihood, so you don't need to figure it out.
Yeah. So then, like, I guess this doesn't affect them though, because Diamond put this nice, clean email for them together. It was like, don't you worry, you're still gonna get your Marvel comics here. We're just actually ordering them from Penguin.
So they may be a little more expensive.
Yes. So you can order them still from us.
I read an interesting thing on why Penguin is a great move for Marvel. They're apparently one of, if not the top distributor for trades.
Oh.
More people are buying trades, especially
Yes.
young people,
Yes.
from small independent bookstores, large book chains,
Yep.
etc., rather than going into a comic book shop and buying trades anyway.
Yep.
So you're getting more in touch with the thing that's actually moving.
Oh, like Barnes and Noble probably gets all of their
Right.
trades from
From
Penguin.
Penguin.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of dinosaurs, Jesus.
they might be getting, an opportunity to get more floppy comics into bookstores, or a higher volume of trades into different bookstores, or small mom and pop bookshops start carrying things like Spider-Man and Superman, just like the top comics, and just see how it goes.
So speaking of weird distribution shit, have any of you actually gone to a Walmart to pick up some of these DC exclusives that
No.
exist?
Oh, the Walmart variants?
Yeah.
I see them, but I don't pick them up.
Do you know how they work?
I imagine they're ratty as fuck by the time you get them up
Actually,
to the
they're
cash
like
register.
they're pre-wrapped, like they're shrink wrapped.
really?
Yeah, so they have a
So they
cardboard
may be
backing.
in better condition.
It's they're shrink wrapped.
Do you know why they're shrink wrapped?
Because they're in Walmart.
Because you have to buy 3 comics.
Yes, I
So-
knew that. So
Oh.
it's like a variety pack.
Yeah, you get 2 comics that have already been printed, and one is a variant Walmart exclusive.
I had no idea. Toys R Us used to do this. Used to buy packs of comics there.
Okay.
Scalpers love selling them on eBay. Ooh, they
I was
love
gonna
it.
say the only people that would benefit is those people who
Yeah,
are looking to.
And I think they sell out, right? You know?
Well, sometimes they do. It depends on the cover, but yeah, they're wildly popular. I love the idea of it because it puts comic book floppies into people's hands that would normally go to a comic book shop,
Unless a guy just walks in and is like, I will take all of these to sell on eBay.
which is what is happening to baseball cards and Pokemon cards in
my
Targets and
gosh.
Walmarts.
You're completely right.
We've been talking about that for a minute. The trading card stuff is like,
It's out of control.
you can't emphasize how insane it is right now.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Is that why you can't find yours anymore?
It's exactly right. I can't
Oh,
find my
no.
Pokemon cards anymore.
That's so sad.
It's fucking bullshit.
People
Vintage
who actually
stock.
want to.
I don't know if this was an article that you found online, but I went into a vintage stock and saw $99 packs of basketball cards.
No, I saw the same cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're jacking them up because they can, because you can't fucking find them anywhere.
You'd think about going on eBay
Mm-hmm.
and buying any one basketball card you want. Like, rather than, like, what card are you going to pull out of a $99 pack that makes that worth it?
Unless
The
it's a-
chances are so slim.
Right. Unless it's like a Jordan signature, nothing.
Right. Which, those aren't going to be in packs like this.
Well,
If there are, there's going to be one among millions of cards that were printed.
what I believe they have are relics.
Yeah.
So they have like a piece of a jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in a
but
card.
not in every pack.
Sure.
And that's the thing. I can go on eBay and buy most relics for $10 to $25.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anymore. I think that's the thing.
Then I need to sell my boxes full of relic cards that are like garbage right now.
Oh,
you
you
go.
absolutely do.
Because maybe they're worth money. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dollar bill, y'all.
But I don't think there's so many exist that how are people going to track them down and find them?
The most sought after is Horace Grant's glasses, the Rec Specs. that they slammed into a card.
Did they really?
No, wouldn't that be cool though?
Come on, dude, that would be so awesome.
A whole lens.
Yeah.
It's one clear card.
That's just for super basketball fans.
Yeah, yeah. Or Dino Raja's like nose guard that he wore for a season.
I'd buy that.
Yeah.
And that's how they get you.
All right. Maybe I'll list some of my cards.
You should, yeah. Let's get back here and then we'll buy that Matt Ken NFT.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We never tried that. I don't know if the time limit's still on that. But
God, trying to mess with Ethereum sounds like a waking nightmare.
All right. Do you guys want to get into Silk?
I
I'd
do.
love to get into Silk.
a
Silk the Shocker.
New book out on Marvel by Maureen Gu, who is a novelist.
Mm-hmm.
I looked her up the other day. Has a ton of like best-selling novels. Writes fun stuff for like a YA audience, I think. And how did that translate to her first comic?
I loved it. I thought she was witty and charming and relatable, and I want 50 more issues of this particular comic. I thought it was fantastic and a great debut.
This is a 1 of 5. I'm bummed to hear that because I think the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic comic. Wrote the character so well.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate when they. I mean, I know that they have plans for why they would make it a 1 of 5, but do you think that they often do or would create room if like they saw readership or if there was just quality with the team?
Yep. That's why you see Miles Morales. That's
Yeah.
why you see Spider-Gwen. Like, I think this may be just like a little toe dip into the water to see how people react to Silk being back.
Yeah.
And then hopefully this takes off and she gets an ongoing.
She had an ongoing
I was
at
going to
one
say.
point.
Yeah, she did.
It made it to what, like 18, 20 issues or something before they stopped?
Yeah, I guess I should have said another ongoing, yeah.
And I liked that. I read that series. I was a huge Spider-Man fan. She was integral to the Amazing Spider-Man story at the time they did the offshoot. And one thing I loved is that the tonality of the character stayed very true. This is on canon. J. Jonah Jameson's nickname for Analog.
Oh, I love that.
So
And
she's working for him now. I love that.
When was that series? Like, is this a better time just culturally for this series to come out?
Yes.
It was like 2013 or something. It wasn't like incredibly long ago.
Okay.
Well, we should say this book was pushed back. This was supposed to come out right when COVID started. And so everything got kind of gridlocked and pushed back and pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this was supposed to come out a little bit earlier.
And she also spent some time in the Asian superhero team.
Agents of Atlas.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that also kind of primed it for this as well. So I don't know. Yeah, this book, it felt like it was like dancing around a YA book, but not a YA book because it's like a you just got out of college book. What do you call that? Early adolescence, for coming of age.
Young adult.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really YA.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if like 21-year-olds think of themselves as YA though.
What about IA, immature adults?
I mean, they are the YAs though.
Yes.
Because anything below that, it's teen.
My frontal lobe is
Just
forming
teen.
adolescence. Yeah. And so I think the dip between like fighting crime, working at your first job and stuff was like one of the best I've seen done in a Marvel book.
Absolutely.
Or
And
comic book period.
she is basically Peter Parker. She's quipping while she's fighting. She is working for a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And she is just, and she was bit by the same spider that bit Peter Parker.
True.
Except for the spider gave her better powers and fixed Peter's web problem.
Yeah, she shoots web through her fingertips, which I thought was amazing.
That's funny.
Right? Rather than instead of
Never
having
thought that was a web problem, but it is kind of odd.
right, that he had to invent his
Just
own.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the tiniest sound effect.
When
there's a very famous sound effect already.
That's a good point.
He's trying to make a new thing happen. You know the famous Spider-Man thing?
You know, the thing
He's
that he
trying to
does.
like tickle someone in the back of the neck?
So she meets this like giant huge friend in the end of the comic book that's like a giant cat monster.
Oh no, so that's the president of the tech company that they found the earpieces in, the villain she fought.
Completely different character that looks completely different.
She has half her hair is white.
Wait, what?
The villain mastermind is the star of that scene.
Okay.
And that person
Cat monster.
commissions this cat monster that she's friends with to take out like a crime syndicate.
Got it.
And,
Okay.
and that happens. So one of the interesting things here is that Silk's job is as a reporter or an intern for Reporter, and her very first article that she publishes is about a murder that ties directly into some crime fighting stuff that she's going to have to deal with as a superhero and as a reporter at the exact same time.
Well, and she did the thing that everyone fears. She posted it online by accident.
Yeah, right.
She meant to send it to her editor, and she
Oh
hit
my
publish
God.
by mistake. Everyone's fucking nightmare.
Just sending anything I didn't mean to send to anybody I didn't
Oh,
mean
yeah.
to send to.
I check emails about 5 times to make sure I have the right people attached to them and not copy all.
Do you have that thing on Gmail that like it gives you a
5-second
Yeah,
buffer.
you can
Ooh, a
extend.
delay.
You can extend it to 10.
Can you really?
Yeah.
10
Do it on Outlook.
minutes.
I didn't know you could do it on Gmail.
Yeah, it gives you like a. Did you really want to send that 10-second?
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
I even do that when I'm like, when I like check my phone sometimes. Even like, is this? Did I accidentally call the one person that I am happening to reference in this moment?
I've been talking a lot about Steve. I'm not going to make sure it's Steve's not on the line while I'm talking about him.
I don't know. It's just the worst feeling to have that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of yeah.
It's like you did make Siri accidentally call somebody.
That actually happened to your mom the other day.
It did?
She was talking about her bosses.
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah.
So my mom shouldn't have phones?
Yeah.
Well, they had called her, and so she was kind of griping about how they were calling her to come in. But that's, I mean, I stand by checking my phone because I don't ever want that to happen to me.
yeah.
The end.
So Cindy Moon kind of came out around the same time as Spider-Gwen was introduced.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the plan was for Cindy Moon to explode. And then Spider-Gwen blew up instead.
Spider-Gwen was not supposed to be a thing.
No, right. That's why the first appearance is worth so much, because they didn't print that many. Whereas they had Silk first appear in the mainline run of Amazing Spider-Man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love Cindy Moon. She's like the Kimmy Schmidt of the Spider-Verse because she lived 10 years in a bunker
Right, yeah. She was trapped in a bunker.
where she
A
was
mole.
taught to kill people.
Mole Woman original.
It's also like her costume is so interesting because it's like a bandana, like a bandit mask.
Very COVID friendly.
Yes. Versus like the typical Spider-Man thing is to cover up your whole face with some spider eyes.
Yeah.
So
This way we get hair and style.
yes.
It's called fashion, Mom.
Turn to the left.
Make it work.
That is
That's my
true.
Tim Gunn impression.
Maybe that's why they came out with this, is how COVID friendly it is.
Because that's what the masses were clamoring for. You know what? We want our superheroes to be safe, and we want to promote proper mask wearing. It's over her nose, as you can see. It's not hanging below her chin.
It disguises her when she's crime fighting.
She
Cool.
can go into any store she wants to.
How about another comic, guys?
Yes.
Do we want to talk about Witchblood?
I'd love
Vault?
to.
Vault. We don't get many Vault
That's
comics
true.
coming our way.
It's been a while.
We
I
like
think-
this pub,
It's been a
though.
while.
I believe this is
Can we
the.
do that? We can't do that on this. Can
Oh,
we?
it's
Yeah,
been
sure.
a while.
Yes, thank you.
Flawless.
No problem. I'm a big Stain fan. This is the same creative team as Long Lost, I believe, also on Vault.
Oh,
Yep, we covered it a long, long time ago.
I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm. Great book. I like that book a lot. This book is nutsos.
The cover is awesome.
Yes. Both the covers are great.
It's the dialogue for me that's the most insane about this. Like, I get that it occurs in Texas, but everybody is just like partner, like
Oh.
ma'am. Do you know what I mean?
And our witch character kind of talks like she's a robot pretending to be human when she's talking to other people. Like, I'm going to fool you into thinking I'm people.
When she's doing her own dialogue, she is like straight just witch talk.
Yeah.
It's almost disorienting how much like witchy witch
Yes.
she goes
Yeah.
with.
I know. I had a little bit of a hard time following some of the dialogue.
Speaking almost in rhymes and riddles, but then you also have these insane, like, super southern speech from everybody else.
Yeah. I don't know if we said this or what the premise is, but
No.
it's essentially just like vampires and witches and people who hunt those things are all in modern day world. But you're following it from the perspective of a witch who's a motorcycle badass
Yeah.
going about town.
And they're in like hippy dippy New Mexico.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was Texas. My bad.
It
Did
might
we not
be.
say something about... Okay.
The South, if
Yeah.
you will.
If you can, put yourself in the mindset of the South.
The South. And so she's like gets her motorcycle wrecked by somebody and then is fighting essentially like a vampire killer for a long time, and it kind of just goes from like weird ass fight to weird ass fight.
It's quick.
She's-
I mean,
Yeah, and she's kind of like nomadic. She's not really a part, but she's going to get pulled into this war of the supernatural, you gather.
And she's like, I think, an immortal witch. She's been around for ages.
She's been made by
Esmeralda. The blood of Esmeralda.
Esme, if you will.
I won't.
And then the vampires are after Esmeralda, or they have a map to her.
Because she has that special blood.
Correct.
Thus the name of the book.
Witchblood.
Whose blood?
Witchblood.
full circled this.
I like Vault. I wanted to like Vault more, and this book was certainly fun. There was nothing not fun about this book.
I agree.
So, and it was interesting. And then when the vampires come in, I think it ramps up to a new level of gore, danger, and like, how is this going to end? It really like took it from like, is this like kind of just a weird zine book to like being like, oh, okay, I can see the narrative arc, and this is kind of crazy now.
Yeah, it's like a weird mix of like teen plus pulpy.
Yes. I'm kind of actually coming around on the dialogue the more that we talk about it, because I think that helps this not seem like just another Sabrina. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely more stylized, just totally different, to be totally different than that.
It's like Sabrina on acid.
They really nailed the aesthetic of how vampires have that real outlaw sexual energy with this like motorcycle vampire gang that I really enjoyed. They all were dressed super sexy with leather jackets and no shirts and like
But like
coiffed hair.
cowboy hippie sexy.
Yeah, like Dusk Till Dawn kind of style, and I was into it.
Like Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, but if they were vampires and rode motorcycles, totally.
Right, yeah.
Has any member of Mumford and Sons ever appeared without a shirt on?
Have you, better yet, have you ever seen any of their reflections?
Oh, that's
Oh my god.
good. How much does a vial of Mumford and Sons blood go for?
About $5.
You think?
Yeah.
They have an endless supply of it.
Yep. I remember, I think they fired, this is so stupid, I think they fired their banjo player recently.
They did. For what reason, though? Something nefarious.
He gave praise to an author who wrote a book condemning, the author was like praising the people who attacked the Capitol. Of just like, hey man, they're just trying to defend their rights. And the banjo player of Mumford and Sons was just like, wow, what a great book. Very courageous of you to write. And the internet said, no. You're out of Mumford and Sons.
So,
Mumford
like,
just lost a son.
Here's the thing. It takes like no effort to not say that
Right.
and keep your job.
Yeah, you can still be a lunatic and be in Mumford and
Oh
Sons
my
if you keep your mouth
gosh.
shut.
There was no bigger gig the banjo player could have gotten in his life. He just had to keep his politics out.
So here's what I don't get. You kick the guy out of the band as if your politics aren't the same as one of the guys you've like lived in a fucking van
No
with
joke.
for the last like 10
They couldn't
years.
have been shocked.
Right. Like
They're
the,
just waiting for Danny to say something.
the rest of those guys got to feel the exact same
Well, so I think
way.
that's why they kick him out, is they're like, they're going to find us out.
Yeah, they
Like-
want to save face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They want to be able to get ahead of it.
Everybody knows what we're doing over here,
Well,
but
maybe the banjo player can go along with Gina Carano, and they can just start like some
They
sort
can
of.
form a jug band.
so speaking of
Pizza gate. ding 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 ding.
Mumford & Sons was the band that played when I was lucky enough to go to an episode of Saturday Night Live.
oh,
They were the
Oh.
They were
musical
the
guest.
musical guest. Mumford & Sons.
they did a lot of harmonizing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was kind of bummed. I was like, man, sometimes
Because it's
you
a
get,
lottery, right? You're not getting to pick which
yeah,
show
you,
you go
you
to.
can't pick the show you go to. And some people get Kanye West, some people
Yeah.
get like
Mumford and Sons.
Rihanna, and then other people get Mumford & Sons.
Who is your guest?
Ugh.
Like, who is the person hosting?
Tiffany Haddish.
Oh.
Speaking of which,
That's a good one.
has anybody watched Bad Trip?
No, I want to so bad.
I watched it 2 times in a row.
Is
It
that
seems like
good?
it is your bag.
I finished it.
100%.
I finished it and I just started it again because I said I just witnessed the funniest thing I've ever put in front of my face.
I'm so excited.
It's like half jackass, half like story, right?
Well,
like half
it's
real
Eric
movie.
Andre. Like it's half Eric Andre, half actual movie.
Yeah, so it's a lot like it's the same thing as like Ali G and Borat.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that
Two different people.
Sorry, you're right. Those movies, Bruno as well. I guess Ali G didn't. That movie was more. You probably never saw it, but it was all just narrative, no prank. But anyway, the
Hashtag no prank.
the main difference is that Eric is the one who made to be the fool.
But like that's his shtick.
yeah,
like he loves
it's-
to be the butt of
The
the
joke is always on him, but that's the joke for everyone else.
Yes, nobody feels dumb being in this movie.
Is Hannibal Buress in it at all?
No, but the guy that is the TSA clerk from Get Out.
Lil Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's amazing. But Tiffany Haddish, I mean, if you have to be told that it's her, because it looks absolutely
she
nothing
doesn't
like her.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like her on the cover. Like
I couldn't believe it that it was
he
her.
kept posting really close up pictures, like close up of her face on Instagram.
Trina, I believe, is her
That
character's
was just
name.
his post, just her face, really
I
close.
thought about Trina the other day. Remember the rapper Trina?
Oh yeah.
Man, what is she doing?
Hey, so speaking of
Wildly off track. Wildly off
speaking
track
of
now.
Vial of Blood, while we're off track, did you know that
We're in what we call a podcast death spiral. Holy
AKA
shit.
Mike D's favorite part of the show.
did you know that
Oh, because talking about Witchblood was so much fun.
Megan Fox currently carries a vial of blood around her neck of MGK?
Okay, cool.
Is he
Is
dead?
that Machine Gun Kelly?
Yes.
Okay.
But
I was
much
hoping
like
I got that right.
why would you do that if Angelina Jolie famously did
Yeah,
that
that's what I was-
previously?
Because she did it with Billy Bob, right?
Yeah.
So Megan.
You know your
Fox,
vials of blood.
Megan Fox, is that what you said?
Yes.
She's dating Machine Gun Kelly. then,
Correct.
I assume. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Either that or she stole his blood. She's bragging
Well,
about
I
it.
don't know. Maybe he gave it to her.
Yeah.
Who
Good
knows?
clarification.
Yeah, that's weird. Just to be like, okay, I'm gonna do that thing that they did already, but it's special to us.
Yeah. And I have tiny thumbs.
They're like hammer thumbs, toe thumbs. Anyway,
Blood was
I
at
know,
least
I know my blood in my thumbs.
Blood was at least on theme.
Sure. Yeah.
I got nothing else.
I love that we got degrading her otherwise perfect image in there at the end.
I don't, everyone does it.
She's also disgusting in this way. Just at the buzzer.
Tell me I'm wrong. Every time anyone mentions Megan Fox in any context, it always comes back to the fucking thumbs.
I just always think of her on New Girl, but
is
now I'll
true.
think of the vial of blood. You know.
Yeah.
God, leave the thumbs out of it already. She's a fucking person.
I thought the thumbs were like they're fine. They're not disgusting to me.
It's like double jointed or like a different color.
I just feel bad because it's probably hard for her to play video games.
She's probably doing way cooler shit.
Yes, she laments that very thing every
I
day.
can't quite reach.
All these millions of dollars and I can't play Mario.
Well, they're not like shorter, are they? I don't
they
think
are.
they are.
Still making fun of her.
I think they are. They're like nubs.
Guys, I think we've cashed these books in celebration of women this month,
Oh no.
and we've ended on a high note.
Oh,
Oh no.
I failed the sisterhood.
We had 3 great books this week. Not a one of them was bad.
Green.
Yep.
Good job, Image. Good job, Vault, and good job, Marvel.
If you guys tune into our Patreon or check out our bonus episodes ever, this past week we'll have posted Crosstalk.
Crosstalk.
Episode 6 or 7, we're talking about issue number 5.
Yeah,
So
so
that'll be
probably episode 5 then, right?
No, because we did a couple about
We've done some
solid
bonus.
blood and
Oh, you're right.
stuff.
You're right.
Don't try to correct me. I know what I'm saying.
You're right.
And then our Patreon, who knows what wacky places will go. That's once a week we do an extra bonus
I
episode.
thought we were gonna save the vial of blood stuff for the Patreon,
Man,
but
yeah.
you got it right here on the main feed.
We've really spent it this week. All right, everybody. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.